Welcome back, trackside. Once again, race fans here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. Tonight, back in action for the first time in a long time. The Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series makes its return here to the Turn 3 Racing Network's gonna hit the high banks here at Daytona International Super Speedway. 100 laps, over 250 miles. Who's gonna walk away with the first checkered flag of the season? Qualifying just about halfway over with, so we're going to move quickly into our pre-race show and into our starting lineup here in just a handful of moments. But first, how you doing? How you feeling out there in TV land? Race fans, glad you could all join us here tonight. As always, David the Cave bringing you all the calls from trackside. There's going to be a lot to call here tonight, 2-3 wide at times. No fast repairs for these drivers to fall back on. So we'll see how they manage this draft all night long. Beautiful weather here tonight, 73 degrees out there trackside. Track temperature under 80 degrees, so a lot of grip. These cup machines are going to produce tons of power, and right now looks like Gary Bowman producing a lot of power here tonight. Quick time in qualifying belongs to Bowman, 49.26. Let's drop a little bit of that qualifying information over there to the left hand side. You can see him right there. Bowman going to be beat out now. Richardson going to take it with just about 60 seconds remaining here in qualifying. We told you it was going to be fast paced, coming right at you, and indeed it is. Over 26 drivers in tonight's field. Man, big start, big night, big speeds. We'll see who can top the speed chart. Sitting top right now, Richardson still holding it down with a 49.25. Look to see the lap times a little bit quicker in the draft, and with just about 30 seconds to go, nobody out there on the track, and Cody Richardson will walk away with the first pole position here this season with the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. So we're going to step away, head trackside for your national anthem. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rackets regular, the boats bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And with the first flyover of the season behind us, drivers ready to roll off of pit lane, we're going to quickly jump trackside as they begin to roll. There you can see your pole sitter behind the wheel of that fast Toyota Camry down there on the bottom of the racetrack, sitting inside of the 64, your pole sitter for tonight's Daytona 250 out of the Mad Spartan Sim Racing Stable, Cody Richardson going to bring us to the green flag. Gary Bowman just to his outside. Corey Sherman and Ed Jurgen back in row number 2. Row number 3 here tonight, Andrew Koska, followed by Jared Camilli. Kyle Nadeau, Coleridge Finmore right there in row number 4. Row number 5 here tonight behind the wheel of that number 24 machine, Matthew Hall, followed by the 77 of Dave Sanders. Dan Keene, Jerry Isaacs back in row number 6. And in row number 7 here tonight, William Kern, followed by the 20 of Mike Stiverson. Jacob Bowen, Nathan Dufton. Row number 8, row number 9 here tonight from Daytona, Christian Delgado, followed by Judd Danielson. Dave Gainforth, Ray Richer, rounding out your top 20. Chris Letts, Alan Ayers, Stephen Music. Paul Turner going to finish out the top 24. Brian Dorsey and Chris Dorsey going to make up the tail end of the field. That's the 26 cars in tonight's starting lineup. Your Daytona 250 ready to roll here tonight. Double file through turn number 4. So who you got? There's a big list of drivers here tonight. Some familiar faces still here with Cyber Thunder Racing. We'll see how they go about it. Pace truck into the restart zone. We roll and away we go. Green flag flies for the first time here at Daytona. Three wide in the back of the field. Big gap back in a 3-wide situation. Will they sort it out before they get to the start-finish line? Lap number 1. Gonna go in the books. Unable to lead the first lap. Holster going to drop back to the 3rd position. Gary Bowman going to take over the race lead on that high side. The 08 moving to the front. We're going to see a lot of jockeying for positions, a lot of passes being made, but already seeing 2 very distinct packs here early in tonight's race. Alan Ayers back in the 17th position, about a second and a half back, creating that second pack. You can see Jurgens looking to the outside just a little bit, peeking, getting a little bit of air to that engine. Got to keep these temperatures cool. Drivers going to make their way back through the tri-oval. Lap number 2 going to go behind us. Lap 3 now on the board. And with no fast repairs, we're going to have to keep this in mind throughout tonight's race. We may not see as much pushing and shoving going on early in the race. Drivers may reserve to keep a little bit of patience throughout the early portions of tonight's race. You can see that outside lane starting to dissipate now. What was 5-6 drivers now down to just 4. Looking for a hole on the bottom, but not going to be able to make one. The Toyota Camry going to thunder back to the front of the field. The 64 Cody Richardson going to reclaim the race lead. So your pole sitter finally leads a lap here at Daytona. With a lot of action on the track, we're going to jump around a little bit. Let's go back here to the back end of this front pack. The 101 sponsored Spam Machine up on the high side, 4th in line, catching a bit of a tow. Can the Fast Ford Mustang make some headway here? Only Ford inside of your top 10. So Gainforth trying to do his manufacturer proud, trying to make some headway and some steam, but doesn't look to be going anywhere anytime fast. I say anytime fast, but these guys are pushing 195 miles an hour, so fast enough, I would believe. Lap number 5 going to go on the board. We'll drop the timing and scoring back to the left-hand side of your screen. Let you find your favorite driver in the field here tonight. You can see a moment there. Gary Bowman looked like he wanted to go to the bottom of the racetrack. Left his help high and dry for about a quarter of a lap, really. And then jumped right back to the high side. Bowman still at the point, leading from the high side of the racetrack. A lot of these drivers already single file bottom of the racetrack. Let's back up a little bit if we can. Let's get a little bigger picture of what seems to be going on. Still nose to tail all the way through this field. You can see William Kern starting to try to get something going at the tail end of the field. We'll see if he can't get a little closer. We're also looking into a little bit of graphics issues right now. We're going to see if we can't get that fixed up and figured out for you. A handful of these paint schemes and liveries not quite showing up as they should, but we're going to get it all fixed up. We're going to get it all figured out. We're going to get you all of these amazing paint jobs here tonight from the Cyber Thunder Racing League. Still side by side, front of the field. Battle still remains for positions. Only real big mover of the race so far, Dave Gainforth, that 101. Absolutely fired off, shot out of a cannon, up 12 positions from where he qualified here tonight. So heading from the back to the front is Gainforth. Will he have a handful of his fellow competitors begin to see him making those moves and start to work with him a little bit? You kind of always eyeball the drivers moving to the front. You eyeball those drivers that have those good pushes. It's a very long night, very grueling race. Small little mistakes will compound into big, big problems here at Daytona. Ooh, and your top 3 on the outside going to drop down to the bottom. Cody Richardson. With some issues there. Richardson in the 64. Gonna have a moment. Keep himself out front. Gonna drop to the bottom with his teammate right behind him. The 86 of Andrew Koska. How about Koska up 3 positions from where he qualified? Outside lane struggling a little bit. Now as we cross the line, lap number 9 goes on the board. I mean, you can just hear the speeds of these drivers make their way by these wonderful camera shots here at Daytona International Super Speedway. Outside lane definitely losing ahead of steam now. Looks like 5 drivers stuck to the high side, unable to get to the bottom. Single file making their way across the start and finish line. 10th of the way through tonight's race. No, we're not going to keep track of it like that. Just having a little bit of fun up here in the booth. We're going to go high above with our turn 3 drone cam here. Focus on a handful of the drivers out there on the track. The number 20 Bad Boy Machine looking pretty quick here tonight, up 5 positions from where he qualified. Stuyvesant slowly making some gains. Gainforth sliding backwards now, stuck on the high side, unable to make his way back to the... Whoa, big moment there. The 94, all sorts of trouble. Let's stay right here. Let's go back there, guys. There it is. A little bit of trouble there. 94 a little bit sideways. Getting into turn number 3. That's going to check up the field near the rear of this pack. Build a little bit of a gap. We've seen him overcome a 1.3 second deficit already. Whoa, more trouble behind him. handful of these drivers look like they may be struggling with a little bit of the handling early here tonight. Interesting to see handling already becoming a factor 11 laps in to tonight's 100 lap Daytona 250 with the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. Interesting to see. Gainforth going to the back of the pack, man, up 11, 12 positions at one time early here tonight, but has since dropped almost tail end shotgun Sally of the field. Ooh, way up the racetrack. Taking a look at the Abruzzi sponsored number 85 machine, Judd Danielson losing a handful of positions. Oh, and we've got trouble on the track. Trouble on the track. Caution flag going to fly for the first time here tonight. See if we can't go back, take a look, see what happened here. There you can see carnage, chaos all over the apron down at the bottom of the racetrack. Handful of drivers going to get caught up in this one. Waiting for the thumbs up from the replay guys sitting just to my left. We'll see if we don't have that one queued up and fixed up for you. Let's go to the replay. Oh, and the 24 into the outside wall off the nose of the 31. The 2 going to catch a piece of the action as well. Good job by the majority of this field to avoid contact and avoid carnage. Let's go have one more look at it if we can. Take a look here. There it is, just a little bit offset, and that's all it takes. One minute mistake compounds into big problems now for 3 of our race drivers early here from Daytona. So you saw how it all unfolded. Let's head back out front with your race leader, your pole sitter here tonight, Cody Richardson. Looks like well, no, he's not going to bring the field to pit road. There it is. He's going to prove me wrong. He is going to pull to pit road. How many drivers make that trek down pit road? And it looks like the majority of the field. So with that being said, we're going to take a short, brief commercial break, pay a few of the bills. You know how that goes, so don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back live from Daytona International Super Speedway.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic, real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Thanks for tuning in. If you're just joining us, racing already underway here tonight from beautiful Daytona International Super Speedway. The Pro Cup Racing Series finds themselves Under caution for the first time here tonight. Caution flag going to fly on lap number 12. Contact between a handful of drivers. Jacob Bowen involved. William Kern also involved. A handful of drivers going to pick up some damage. Will they be able to persevere and walk away with a good points day? We'll find out as things get set to get back underway. Pace truck lights are out. Our good buddy Jose Perez pulling pace truck duties for us here tonight. So a big tip of the cap to Perez as he gets the field ready to go. Back green flag racing. We've seen the field stretch out, get single file. A little bit of contact, some bumping and banging, a little bit of moving. Coming out of the tail end of these machines, you've seen about lap 10, 11, a handful of these guys starting to have issues with the handling of the cars. We'll see if these drivers that took 4 tires, if they have an advantage, they're going to start outside of the top 15 for this restart. Looks like your top 12 with just a fuel-only stop and with only 4 sets of tires on pit road. You may have to be a little methodical on when you get those fresh rubbers. Pace truck in. We're ready to go again. On the loud pedal and away we go. Green flag flies outside lane. Cody Richardson gonna smash the gas and put us back under green flag racing conditions. Teammates working together on the restart easily. Richardson down to the bottom, and it looks like the majority of the field gonna quickly try to drop down to the bottom. Only 6 cars left on that high side already. Man, quick at the front of this field. Richardson, Kotska, Isaacs, Bowman, Sanders, Sherman. Fast at getting formed up, straight in a line, and building a 3/10 of a second gap to 3 wide now. Let's go back to the 3 wide. Nadu gonna put it to the high side behind the wheel of that baby blue Carvana sponsored number 97 machine, GoPro 85 of Dan Keene right along with him. They're going to bypass that number 30, a Bruzy machine, piloted by Jared Camilli. He's going to drop down to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to fill in. Nice job there. Gainforth, what does he do? Does he go to the bottom of the racetrack here? And it looks like Nadu is... He's going to... Or I apologize, not Nadu. Gainforth is going to keep it running out there on the high side, but Nadu is as well. Up in the 8th position, but without a car in front of him. Nobody to really draft off of. This 2-car tandem is going to have to really put together some flawless laps. And unfortunately, we got one of our drivers fresh out of the infield care center. Looks to be doing okay. Car, not so much. The number 24 of Matthew Hall gonna have an early exit here. Opening night in the Daytona 250 for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. Good to see you. You're okay. Glad you could join us here in the chat. Let's have a little fun if you want. We do, I don't want to say we apologize because we weren't out there, but wish you were joining us a little bit later on in tonight's race, maybe in the post-race interviews, but nonetheless, side-by-side racing action for the top spot. Nadu keeping true to the high side along with company behind Dan Keene. An amazing job pushing that number 97 to the front, and new race leader halfway down the backstretch. Kyle Nadu gonna take that top spot away. Some jockeying for position in the back as Gainforth gets out of line. The number 20 bad boy buggy drops down to the bottom. That's going to bring Keen as well as Nadu to the bottom. Single file racing as we cross the line a quarter of the way through tonight's race. Here from Daytona International Super Speedway. We hear you don't want to be a moving chicane. I gotcha. Well, I mean, sometimes chicanes can be fun. I mean, maybe not in these big, heavy NASCAR tin tops, but, you know, a Formula One car, chicanes are pretty fun to drive. I'm just saying, you know. Just jokes, just playing, just kidding. We're going to keep it single file here front of this field. Everybody seems to be tucked in line, happy just to click off some laps here. Paul Turner, 4 seconds back now. He's running with William Kern and Steven Music right here as well. How about that? Nothing runs unless it runs on Duncan. And you know what? I've got to say it. I'm going to put my seal of approval on that Duncan machine. Why? Because, well, it fuels me every single morning. If I don't stop by the Duncan, my day just doesn't seem to start off right. It may all go to, you know what, after that, but at least it starts with a great cup of coffee, couple shots of espresso. You know how we do. Anyways, so these drivers going to try to stay with each other. They are losing some ground. They are losing time just being in a 3-car pack. 21 drivers packed up in front of them, scooting away right now. They're going to have to hope for some help. They're going to have to see a caution flag already being 5.5 seconds back here. Just 10 laps after the restart. I'm not sure that's where you really want to be. Nonetheless, we're going to jump around the track and around to a handful of different camera views here tonight. Let's jump on board now. You want to drive a car? You want to know what it's like on the high banks? Here at Daytona International Super Speedway, take a look at the banking. That's just through the tri-oval. Well, Matthew, we're going to wait to see you at Atlanta then. Can't wait for that one. I absolutely love Atlanta Motor Speedway. Sometimes not so much the newer repaved. I'm really a big fan of the old school, and you know, everybody that knows me knows I love a lot of old school things, but the old school tracks had a lot of character. Had a lot of personality, right? The bumps, the bumps, the humps, the seams where they've been, where they've had a little bit of repave done, but not a full-blown repave. You know, those characteristics really made a lot of great racing at a lot of great tracks around the country. Sad to see some of them go away, but absolutely couldn't be more thrilled to see some of them making a resurgence, a reemergence onto the scene. Rockingham, North Wilkesboro Speedway hosting the NASCAR All-Star Race for the second year in a row now. North Wilkesboro back on the map. If you haven't been, you better get there. Moving over from the race lead, looks like Kyle Nadu, happy to have led a handful of laps here tonight. He's going to move on out the way, drop back to third, back in the line, right in front of the two teammates stacked up, the 64 and the 86 of Richardson and Koska. Still nose to tail to go pro. 85 of Dan Keene shows the way out of 4. He'll lead his first lap of the race here tonight. 47 of Nathan Dufton going to be listed off in the lead lap now as he pulls the pit road, so some trouble here tonight for Dufton. Going to put a damper on his debut here at Daytona International Super Speedway. Drivers all single file. Not a lot going on, not a lot to speak of. Let's go around. See if we can't highlight a few of the drivers throughout the field. Let's get some looks off and around the car. Taking a look back now off of the 86 machine of Andrew Costco at the Fox sponsored number 51 of Jerry Isaacs. Isaacs running well here tonight, up 6 positions from where he qualified. Having a great run to the front of this field. A little further back in the pack, Christian Delgado. Right here running in that 11th position, trying to track down 10th. And, you know, I would say the same thing, Matthew. You know, I used to be a driver that enjoyed coming to the super speedways. Loved Daytona week, loved Talladega week. You could find me on the simulator with 20-plus races easily in the official side of things with the Daytona and Talladega race weeks. But then sometimes you become so competitive that it takes all the fun out of it. You know what I mean? So had to take a little bit of a step back on that. We've since retired the driving gloves and have become just straight, full-blown broadcaster mode. Ooh, tight window right there. Whew. Finmore squeezing in. Front of that 101 of Dave Gainforth. A little bit of contact possibly back there. We're going to take an eyeball. Let's see if we can't look back here with Gainforth. Do we see any damage on the front end? Don't see any damage on the front end of that fast forward. But Finmore, I mean, that was pretty close. Back near to the front of the field, we'll watch them as they head through 1 and 2, working their way towards the exit of turn number 2. They'll fire things off down the backstretch, still single file for your top 21 positions. And again, talking about speed, these drivers are over 195 miles an hour getting into the corners. An amazing rate of speed right now. Lap times under 45 seconds. These guys are traveling 2.5 miles in less than 45 seconds. Crazy. Well, if we ever decide to turn around and put the racing rig back together, we may come check you out there, Matthew. I mean, might as well, right? But you gotta get me talked into getting back behind the wheel. I've become a little bit different person behind the wheel. I'm a little bit more aggressive. Maybe not so nice and understanding as we tend to be over here in the production booth, but nonetheless, you know, racing is racing. Things happen, and we're going to watch some things continue to happen here tonight. 85 going to give up that top spot. The number 20 of Mike Stiverson takes over the race lead. Handful of laps ago, looks like about 3 laps ago, Stiverson went to the front of the field. And it might be teammates just trying to work a little fuel mileage here. As we look, the 97 of Kyle Maydew was on the high side. Dropped back to about that 3rd position now. The 85 GoPro machine of Dan Keene led a handful of laps and then decided, you know what, let me get back here in the pack. I can get off of the throttle and save a little bit more fuel. Let's let somebody else get out front and drag this long train of cup cars around this 2.5 mile track. There you can see them all off of turn number 2. Little look to the high side there. I believe that may have been Danielson Looking to the high side just a little bit. The number 29 machine looked to the high side for a moment, but has since gotten back in line. And at this point in time, really making that move to create that second line, right? To get a second draft pack going, you're going to have to work with other drivers immediately. You're going to have to time it. They're going to have to know you're going, and they're going to have to be committed to what you're trying to do. You can't go up there and be, for lack of better terms, you can't be willy-nilly about it. You can't half-step it. That's for sure. If you're going to go, you're going to have to go. And you can see Gainforth back in the distance, trying to jump out of line, trying to get a run created. Nobody jumping to the high side with him. And he's going to lose a position or two before he's able to get back to the bottom of the racetrack. So again, that right there shows you what I'm talking about. You have got to be able to have company. When you have a field of 21 drivers at over 195 miles an hour, you duck out of line, you hit a wall of air. It slows your car down just a handful of miles an hour, so if you don't have the help to keep that steam rolling, you're going to be heading to the back quickly. You're going to lose a handful of positions, and at this juncture in tonight's Daytona 250, track position, very key. Very vital. Drivers are going to cross the start-finish line, head back down towards turn number 1. Once again, we roll. You see 3 drivers starting to fade from this lead pack. You can see them coming off of turn 2 down the backstretch. Looks like Chris Letts, Brian Dorsey, Judd Danielson losing this lead draft. A 1.9 now make it 2 seconds back. So now with 3 different groups of drivers out there, we've got a group of 17, 2 groups of 3, and if crew chiefs haven't been paying attention, a group of 3 just ain't gonna get it done. Turner, Kern, Music, all group of 4 drivers now 13.6 seconds back from 20th. Over 18 seconds back as we got a mass exodus. Drivers head to pit road. A little bit of a wisp of smoke out of that 86 getting to pit road. Did he get slowed down in time? That's going to hand the race lead over to the Blackstone sponsored 08 of Gary Bowman. He's going to go to the top of the speed charts, bring this long train of cars around the track. Looks to be about 9 drivers still in this lead pack. 9 to 10 drivers, we apologize, still in this lead pack. There's a handful head to pit road. Stuyvesant, Richardson, Koska, Nadu, Isaacs, Keene, Sanders, all to pit road. And what do you do here? You gotta get formed up. If you're those drivers that just made your green flag pit stop, you're gonna have to get formed up as quickly as possible, because these guys are gonna begin to knock on the door of your rear bumpers. Almost 40 seconds back now of your race leader. Will they come to pit road this time around? No, they don't. And it looks like we've got a little problem with the timing and scoring. We're going to try to get that fixed up for you just as quickly as we can. But for the time being, we're going to just kick it old school for you here. Gary Bowman still showing the way, staying out, extending this fuel run. Sherman, Jurgen Delgado right there. Camilli in line behind the wheel of that number 30 machine. Alan Ayers up 16 positions now in his Ford Mustang. Ayers behind the wheel of that number 94 machine. Still trying to work on things in the background, get that timing and scoring back up there for you just as quickly as possible. Gary Bowman still showing the way. Corey Sherman sitting in second, and Jurgen in third. Christian Delgado back and forth. Jared Camilli rounds out your top five with Alan Ayers, Coleridge, Finwell, Chris Dorsey, Dave Gainforth, all right here lined up. Your top nine. Chris Letts back in the back. Brian Dorsey, John Danielson, Jacob Bowman, Paul Turner, and William Kern. Round out the top 15 drivers still yet to head to pit road here. About half of the field are, well, maybe not so much half. Looks to be about 7 or 8 drivers that have been to pit road. Another 5 gonna join them this time by Bowman, Turner, Kern, Music, Richard, all to pit road. Gonna keep our eye up here with your race leaders. They run in to some of the back markers, some of the group that already ran down pit road. And there you can see that GoPro number 85 was once the race leader, now fighting to stay on the lead lap. It's going to be a short-lived fight, a short-lived battle. No match for the 7 or 8 drivers lined up to his high side. They're going to fall off of the lead lap. But this lead pack, they still have to head down pit road for a green flag pit stop. So interesting to see the way that these drivers have decided to split up the fuel mileage. Split up the remaining laps in tonight's race. Quickly back down to the bottom of the racetrack. 2 gonna get left high and dry. They're gonna have to fall in line behind the lap machines here. And we're just about ready to try to bring you back that timing and scoring. Gonna try to do it possibly during a commercial break if we ever get another commercial break, a little break in the action. We'll try to get that back to you. Otherwise, we're gonna have to pull a graphic up on the screen, and at that point, it kind of is what it is. We do apologize, but we're trying to get everything back up and running for you. Looks like Danielson gained 4th, Dorsey and Letts all to pit road this last time around. Top 8 remaining on the racetrack yet to hit pit road. Chris Dorsey gonna make that list a little shorter. Now just 7 drivers are left to make their first round of green flag pit stops. Out of turn 2, back down the backstretch once again. Bowman continuing to show the way around this 2.5-mile racetrack. The Daytona 250 well into the halfway portion of tonight's race, well into a long green flag run. And there it is. Driver's going to break for pit road. Drivers braking for pit road. No problems, no issues. Everybody going to get slowed down. Nobody popped by the pit road police just yet here tonight. So an amazing job by everybody getting off of the racetrack into pit road speed. No penalties incurred. And we're going to go here with Mike Stuyvesant as he leads this 5-car pack. Has Casca, your pole sitter Cody Richardson, Kyle Nadeau, he's led a handful of laps here tonight. Jerry Isaacs, he's been up inside of the top 5 for the majority of tonight's race as well, quickly making their way around some of the drivers that were late on their pit cycle. 31 of William Kern, Wounded Warrior here tonight. He's going to drop back through this field. Kern multiple laps down now as your race leaders fly by. And we were looking, we were trying, we were hoping for a little break in the action before we had to throw you to a brief 30-second commercial. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be back with all your green flag action right here from Daytona International Super Speedway. And we're going to bring you back live trackside, and there it is. Have the graphics back. We do apologize for the issues. We do apologize for the troubles. But nonetheless, we're going to get everything back on track. Looks like a little bit of a setback when it comes to our timing and scoring, but we're going to keep it rolling, keep it popping right at that halfway point tonight. Let's drop the timing and scoring back over there to the left-hand side of your screen. Let you follow along and find your favorite driver in the field here tonight. And that's the beautiful thing about live TV, about virtual world racing. Sometimes there's mishaps, miscues, and things of that nature, and you got to roll with the punches and just keep it moving, head down, and keep moving forward, right? It's all about the marathon. It's not about the quickness of it. It's about the longevity and looking to lead a lot of laps here tonight. Mike Stuyvesant up 13 positions from where he qualified. He's got his Bad Boy buggies. Number 20 Chevy Camaro out front showing the way. A fellow Camaro behind him, Andrew Koska in that 86. No stranger to the front of the field. Koska has been inside of the top 10 for the majority of tonight's race, sitting inside of the top 5 for at least the past 30 laps. An amazing run so far here tonight. Only one caution to speak of in the Thursday night series, brought to you by Cyber Thunder Racing's Pro Cup Series. Season kicks off right here at Daytona International Super Speedway. A long season laid out ahead of these drivers. A long way to go, and everybody's going to be looking to try to snatch every point they can to make their way into position for battling for the season championship. Still a long way to go from that, so we won't harp on the season standings very long here tonight. So somewhat essentially out the gate, it's all about the win, right? Setting yourself up for, I don't want to say domination, but you go out and you win the first race of the season. You set yourself up with a handful of confidence. You move into next week's race with your chest puffed up just a little bit more. You know, you kind of walk around like big man on campus for a week or so. You know, everybody, many people can win a race throughout the season. But obviously, only one person can win the season opener. I mean, only one person can win each week anyway, but I don't want to talk to you about winning the sixth race into the season. I want to tell you about it all week long after we hit the track the first time. Bragging rights at stake here tonight. So just past the halfway point here tonight, we're going to go ahead and give you your mid-race report, your driver highlights and spotlights. We started with 26 drivers in the field here tonight. We are down to only 24 still out there on the track, but only 21 left on the lead lap. Mike Stiverson showing the way up 13 positions from where he qualified. Cody Richardson, your pole sitter there, you can see him sitting second in the line. Third place runner Andrew Koska up 2 positions from where he qualified. Kyle Nadu up 3 and 4th, up 7. Now into the 5th position, Jerry Isaacs running well here tonight. Christian Delgado, the 13. Man, what a run for that 13 machine. Up 11 positions as well. And this is what some of the field needs right here. Is this lead pack starting to battle with the cars. Trying to keep themselves on the lead lap. Trying to minimize the damage of the evening. Richard and Turner going to be no match for the quick pack that leads the race here tonight. They're going to make short work. The Ream number 4 now going to be listed as the first driver. 1 lap down, back in that 20th position, looking for some help, looking for a lucky dog. And we're seeing this 86 and 64 do a lot of switching of positions here. Very methodical moves from the teammates. Ten-second advantage for your top 5 over 6th place runner. Let's go back here and take a look at this number 13 machine. He's got help behind him, but this next pack of drivers, multiple seconds back, over 10 seconds back now, knocking on the door of 11 seconds back. Even this second pack is going to need your lead pack to have a little bit of struggle as we continue throughout tonight's race. They very well may need a slow in the action. They very well may need a caution flag to fly to catch up. I mean, 11 seconds. That's a lot to ask out of a pack. We're going to jump outside of the top 10. Let's take a look right here. A 3-car pack being led by Chris Dorsey, Dan Keene, Dave Sanders right there in the 77 machine. And 10 seconds out front of our next 4-pack of drivers. Chris Letts, Judd Danielson, Dave Gainforth, Brian Dorsey next in line. Paul Turner off of the lead lap. He's at the tail end of that front pack. So man, we've got 4 or 5 different little packs out here tonight, but the green flag cycle and the way these drivers broke it down, some electing to extend the fuel run quite a bit. And we're seeing quite a bit of stagger throughout this entire field. And I tell you what, looking at time and scoring, Dorsey, Gainforth, Danielson, Letts, they've got to be careful. They are not too far away from having this lead pack catch up to them and put them off a lead lap as well. I mean, that just goes to show you how quickly this front pack is moving, how quickly they were on and off pit road with each other. Lap number 61 going to go on the board to leave us with only 40 laps remaining here tonight. In just early trouble. Lap number 12, we've seen our first and only caution flag fly of the evening. Drivers have since kept it clean and green for the rest of tonight's Daytona 250 for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup series. And the way it looks right now, we may see this thing go as far as to lap 95, 96 before we see our next caution. I mean, this front pack, very methodical about how they're racing, giving each other room, giving some gaps. They are allowing those top 2 to 3 drivers to bump draft and move things around a little bit, get some runs going, and keep this train of cars really trucking along here. You can see right there the 86 of Andrew Koska, big push on the tail end of the 20 of Stuyvesant for about a half a lap. He's ducked out, fell back in line, and he's letting another driver make the big push now. That's allowing these drivers to push the limits on popping the engines. You don't want to overheat these engines being tucked up, pushing for too long. So very orchestrated moves here in this first pack. Crew chief spotters all working with each other, giving these drivers the information they need to keep propelling this 5-car group that has now got a 15.5-second advantage, continuing to put distance on the rest of this field. And a second round of green flag pit stops begin. Your 5 lead pack drivers all gonna head down pit road. That's gonna allow a handful of guys to get themselves back onto the lead lap, looking down pit road now from high above with the spotter stand. Where is that second pack? And here they are making their way around the track. There is Kimberly to the front of the field, the 30. Gonna take the top spot away now. How long will they stay out on the track though? We've seen the big gaps come from the differential on the varying pit strategies. How long does this group of drivers elect to stay out now? That's going to be the big question. That's going to be the big ask, is how long does this next group of cars stay out on the track? How long do they extend the fuel run? Whoa, big wiggle, big push on the front stretch. And that almost looked like it could have went south in a hurry. Halfway down the backstretch, lap number 66 underway. Our second round of green flag pit stops has begun already here tonight. Multiple drivers still yet to make their green flag pit stop, or second green flag pit stop, we should say. And I'm telling you, this has got to look and feel like it is going to go green flag all the way up to the end when the business picks up. Right, everybody that's watched these races know how calm and cool the race may end up being. At the end of these things, you start getting antsy, you start wanting to make those runs, you start to visualize yourself in victory lane, you start to see yourself waving that checkered flag, standing on top of your machine. And things happen. If and when they do, will we see cautions breed cautions and drivers become a little more aggressive on these restarts? A very polite, orchestrated restart back on lap number 15 when we took the green flag to get back underway here tonight in the Daytona 250 for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. A pretty level-headed restart, right? We see teammates work with each other. We see drivers immediately drop to the bottom and start working with one another, breaking away from the rest of the field. And you know, we didn't mention it yet. Did that early caution maybe, I don't want to say scare, but did it maybe spook a couple of these drivers into running a little differently? Having a caution fly that early in the race may have had a little bit of something to do with the way we've seen the rest of this race unfold. Looking at close to 50 laps of green flag racing action now, and it has been the calm before the storm. I know it's coming. You just know it. You know a big finish is building. A storm is brewing. We've got fast drivers trying to keep themselves on the lead lap right now. I believe that is Casca just out front of your race leaders. And it is Andrew Casca kind of all alone to here. Was the first driver down pit road. About a 2-second advantage here over Jerry Isaacs, Cody Richardson, Kyle Nadeau, and Mike Stuyvesant. And some drivers at the tail end of this pack gonna head to pit road. Top 4 gonna remain on the racetrack for the time being. Bowen, Richard Turner, Music, all working their way off of pit road. Now Delgado, Finmore, Ayers into the pit box. Drivers now working with less than 30 laps to go. They were last to pit road right around lap number 35. Came down pit road around lap 64, the majority of this field. Will they have enough fuel? These drivers that have elected to extend this fuel run, they should more than have enough fuel to get to the end. But now I'm starting to feel a little concerned for Koska, Isaacs, Richardson, Nadu, Stuyvesant. Did they pull the trigger on coming to pit road a little bit too soon? I mean, that's going to be, what, a 36-lap run? That's right at that cutoff. That's right at that fuel mileage. They built a huge gap. Will they be able to save enough? So there's still a lot up in the air. There is still a ton of racing remaining. A lot can happen. A lot can go on. Should we have trouble coming to pit road, maybe a car gets out of shape into the grass, back up onto the track, will we see a caution right in the middle of this round of green flag pit stops? That will definitely shake up the remaining laps in tonight's race as we move closer and closer to just 25 to go. Things about to get heated here at Daytona. And there it is. There's the break to pit road for your top 4. So this should put the eventual race lead back into the hands of this man right here. Koska gonna cross the line, and indeed he's gonna go right back to the point that 51 Fox sponsored machine of Jerry Isaacson towed the 64 of Cody Richardson, Kyle Nadu, all in line. They've got themselves a big gap back to 5th place runner Jared Camilli. Running well here tonight for Camilli, but with 15 seconds back, that is a lot to overcome. .25 laps to go, nose to tail. Do these drivers have enough fuel? That's going to be the big question. Do they have enough fuel to make it to the end? I honestly don't know. Gonna take a look around, jump around to a handful of different camera shots here tonight. On board now with the 92 of Ed Jurgen as he closes in on the tail end of the 08 of Gary Bowman. Man, some great camera shots. Want to give a big tip of the cap to all of the camera crews that got to the track early here tonight to secure all the cameras, make sure everything was in position, worked with these drivers and teams to put these amazing camera shots together for you here tonight. Yet another look inside one of these machines. We're going to ride with Jerry Isaacs on the inside of Isaacs' 51 machine. That's Casca just out front. Coleridge Finmore, another driver with a Chevy onboard camera for us here tonight. He's running back in the 10th position. Onboard fast forward camera here tonight. Chris Dorsey carrying a handful of our onboard cameras right behind the number 77 Bad Weather Brewing Company Camaro. Dave Sanders sits in 13th. Dorsey now into 14th, up 12 positions from where he qualified. So these three drivers, they've been working together for quite some time, but Dan Keene just unable really to make too much headway. Has a long way to go to catch up to the tail end of Christian Delgado and Coleridge Finmore to try to work their way inside of the top 10. But look at the gap that these four drivers out front have created. A 22-second gap. 22 seconds, that is just about a half a lap out front. And with fuel mileage up, I don't want to say a scarcity, but with a possibility of fuel mileage being a factor here inside of this top four, do you make a move? Do you remotely try it? If you're Isaacs, you're splitting teammates right now. You don't want to jump to the high side. You don't want to let those teammates nose to tail. So what do? If you're that 97, what do? Do you jump out of line? Try to use some of the drivers that are listed off the lead lap. Running right here behind it, Dave Gainforth. He's going to have a head full of steam, and he's going to be able to keep these 2 to 3 cars running with him all in line. And it looks like right here, yeah, the 97 looks like he may be falling back. Looked like he jumped out of the gas a little bit to try to pick up Gainforth and the drivers that he's towing around the racetrack. The more drivers in this pack, the better off the two non-teammates are gonna be. Back across the stripe, but only 19 laps remaining. These drivers have put on one heck of a show here tonight. Only one caution flag to speak of all the way back at lap number 12. We are working our way around the track. Lap number 80 now on the board. And I mean, could these drivers possibly go 88 laps without another caution? Will we see it? Will we have it happen? That's going to be a big question. That's going to be a big ask. I think this is just me. This is just the experience speaking. I don't think we've seen the last of that caution flag. I think we're going to see it fly with maybe 2 to go. Whoa, way up the racetrack goes Isaacs. May have been a calculated move, but that was way up the racetrack. A huge give up. Moments ago, we talked about not allowing those teammates to get together, to work together at the front of the field. But was that the correct move? right? If you're running in second as Isaacs and you jump to the outside, you're going to have to depend on that 97 to jump out as well, and he's already going to be at least a car length back. By giving up the position and falling back right in line, right in front of him, now if Isaac makes that move, the 97 of Nadu is going to be able to jump right on that move with him and really give not just Isaacs the opportunity, but really give himself an opportunity at the race win and at capturing that checkered flag. I think if they go, they're going to have to go together. They're going to have to time it right, and they're going to need a little help from the guys behind them. They're going to need a little bit of help from Gainforth and Dorsey and Alan Ayers. They're going to need some help from those three drivers to try to do something with the teammates, but this is not what you needed. You didn't want to... Man, and I'm back and forth on my own strategy and what I think's going to work right now, too. Like, I can't make up my mind. You know, you definitely don't want the teammates, or I'm assuming teammates. We're going to we're going to look through the race of chatter, see if we can figure that part out for you instead of giving you some fake news all night long. We're going to see if Koska and Richardson truly are on the same team, and I do believe they are. And now that we're starting to really look into these team channels and radios, it does appear that your top four are all four teammates. So now what do you do? If you're going to make a move, you're making it on your teammate. How bad do you want the first win? How bad do you want to walk into the race shop tomorrow morning with a big smile on your face while every one of your teammates giving you a little bit of that stank eye? You know, I'm gonna tell you like Tony Stewart once told a room full of reporters. I don't care who you are. I'll wreck anybody for the checkered flag. I'll wreck my mom. I'll wreck your mom to win the race. Not my words. Keep that in mind. Not my words. That was the legend, the very talented Tony Stewart's words. And I must say, I agree. They may not have been my original words, but they definitely ring true to me. .21-second gap still remaining from fourth back to fifth. We're going to stay right here with the battle for the race lead as we continue to click off the laps. 12 laps to go when we cross the line this time around. Your lead pack going to work their way off of 4 and give us just 12 laps to go. We've got another driver to pit road. A driver to pit road. Gary Bowman going to pull that 08 to pit road. Was it a scheduled pit stop? And it does not look to be so. Gary Bowman may have popped the engine late in tonight's race. He's going to head back behind pit wall, and that is just a tough break to put in 200 plus miles of racing and have the engine expire towards the end of the race. Just a tough break here tonight. Bowman gonna join Matthew Hall and Nathan Dufton listed down and out of tonight's race. So a tough break for those three drivers at the start of the season here for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup series. I don't know what to think about this lead pack. You know, the more I eyeball this fuel strategy, they were only able to stay out 35 laps on fuel. 35 laps on fuel. They last pitted on lap 64. That's going to be 36 laps. That is an extra lap. Do they have enough fuel? Is that why we are seeing these drivers switch and swap positions, or is it simply to keep the engines cool enough? We haven't seen Koska give up the race lead. He's the one burning the most fuel out there. If there's anybody that's got to be concerned about the fuel mileage right now, it's got to be the man putting work inside of the office, leading tonight's race. Do we got an onboard camera shot, guys? Can we go to that onboard? No. The other onboard, gentlemen. The other one. There it is. Taking a look at the man underneath that Venom helmet. Behind the wheel of his fast Camaro at the front, showing the way Andrew Koska putting in work. We got more drivers to pit road. More drivers head to pit road. Dan Keene, Dave Sanders, Chris Dorsey, as well as Mike Stiverson. They're all going to head to pit road. And here's your top four to pit lane. Your top four to pit lane. I don't know if that's right. Camille may be sitting in the catbird seat here. This group of drivers were the last to pit road on lap 74. They definitely have enough fuel to make it to the end. Oh man, top four making their way off of pit road, trying to get up to speed. Second pack working their way to the tri-oval, and it's going to be no match. They're going to speed right around. Isaacs, Koska, Nadu. Tough break for those drivers. We've got three at the front of this field now. Camille, Jurgen, Sherman. Right here showing the way, less than 10 laps remaining. 7 to go when we cross the line this time around. Do these drivers have enough fuel to get to the end? From our calculations, they got it. But could we be wrong? We've been wrong before. And I mean, it doesn't really happen a lot, and yeah, I'll be conceited about it, a little narcissistic, if you will. I'm pretty on point when it comes to the fuel mileage games and the statistics behind it. But for all intents and purposes, I mean, about a 10 lap difference on the tires in fuel. We have less than 10 laps to go when that lead four came to pit road for a final splash and go. So I just can't see how this trio in front of this line, how they don't have enough fuel. I just don't see how. Nonetheless, thanks for joining us here tonight. We're in the final few closing stages of tonight's Daytona 250 for the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series, the Thursday night series right here on iRacing.com. If you haven't already, remember to join us in that continued push to 4,000 subscribers. Show these drivers some love and drop the thumbs up, click subscribe, and smash that bell over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, David the Cave, or anybody else back at the headquarters. We do appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by. Boss man in the flag stand giving the high five to the field. Just 5 laps to go. Less than 15 miles remain in tonight's race. Less than 5 laps when we cross the line this time by. And I mean, an amazing job right here by these 3 drivers too, right? They were able to navigate these long green flag runs, pick out the correct strategy to put themselves in position at the end of tonight's race to go after that checkered flag. But we just talked about what are you willing to do to win. But what are you willing to do to just finish the race? Right? You got almost a 6-second advantage over 4th place runner Cody Richardson, who we know is fast, walked away with the first pole position this season. How hard do you race amongst yourselves? If you have contact and you end up into that outside wall or even the inside wall, you're gonna lose positions. You're gonna lose time. Man. Either way, we fitting to find out. Business about to pick up as we work our way off of turn 4 and through the triangle. Drivers make their way across the stripe. Popsicle sticks now on display. Just 2 to go for your race leader. 5 miles of racing remain here tonight from Daytona International Super Speedway. Showing the way, Jared Camilli with a fantastic run here tonight. Crew chief looks like he may be the genius of the yard. He's got Ed Jurgen and Corey Sherman right behind him. Drivers making their way into 3 and 4 now. Man, they proved me wrong. I thought maybe we'd see a late race caution, but no, sir, no indeed. Late green flag pit cycle going to shake things up at the end as we cross the line. White flag flies. A final lap here from Daytona International Super Speedway. The 6 falling back. Looks like he's trying to create a run. He's going to fall back to the front end of that number 2 machine. Will Jacob Bowen push the 6 around to the high side, halfway down the backstretch? It's a half a lap to decide your season opener. They're going to stay in line. Staying in line through the middle of 3 and 4. Camilli still showing the way off of 4 for the final time. Nobody making any moves. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 across the stripe. Camilli win the checkered flag. Ed Jurgen and Corey Sherman gonna finish out your podium positions. What a run, what a night. Cody Richardson, Isaacs Koska also with great runs. Kyle Nadeau, an amazing night for Nadeau inside of the top 10. What a finish, what a show. Only 1 caution to speak of. You can't ask for very much more than that. We're going to highlight your race winner now. The man out of North Dakota getting the job done. And that Alt Construction Chevy Camaro, he's going to come around and enjoy a post-race celebration here at the granddaddy of them all. If there's a race you want to win, it's the season opener at Daytona, capturing the flag and capturing some bragging rights. Jared Camilli going to enjoy a post-race smoke show as he gives the fans in the stands what they want and what they come to love. We're going to step away for just a brief commercial break, get things set up and ready to go for your post-race interview, so don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back here from Daytona International Super Speedway.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
In backtrack side at the conclusion of tonight's Daytona 250 here with the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. What a race, what a night. One early caution came down to some fuel mileage at the end. And a great job by teammates 1, 2, 3. And speaking of those teammates, we're going to go ahead and see if we can have a few words with the man that walked away third here tonight behind the wheel of that number 6 machine. Corey, it's Dave. You got a copy? Let's see if we can't dial them up once again.
Oh, there you go.
Corey,
I got you.
Hey, there you go. You got to plug it in, man. You got to plug it in.
I was trying to turn you up a little bit.
Man, heck of a race, heck of a night. You avoided the early issue there on lap number 12. Long green flag run. When did you and your teammates start to talk through the strategy?
Basically, we knew it was going to turn into a fuel strategy after that first caution, so we tried to go as long as we could because this case of a green, white, checkered. So, yeah, we stretched the first run out, and then we were able to go the next 2 runs.
Now, I know as far as as far as a team, 1, 2, 3 at any track at any race is fantastic. But do you think if you had to do anything differently, do you think you may have wanted to, make a move there at the end, maybe possibly take away the race win?
We were talking about that a little bit, but we decided, team wins better than a personal win. So,
Well, you know me, I'm always trying to create a little bit of controversy, but a politically correct answer right there. Your PR people have been very good at teaching you guys how to manage those opportunities. But Corey, an amazing job here tonight to kick off the season, first race of the season. How much confidence does this give you moving forward?
well, usually I get crashed out at Daytona, so this is a big confidence. Finishing third, getting those points to head into the season. We're going to Chicagoland next, and it's one of my good tracks, so I'm looking forward to that.
Well, man, we wish you the best as we head into next week's race. Congratulations on a great points day, not just for your machine, but the entire team. Before we let you go here tonight, though, would you like to give any final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Yeah, I got to thank my teammates, Jarrett, Gary, and Ed, bringing me on to Lounge Racing. Sucks that Gary blew his engine, kind of pushed Jarrett there, but yeah. But we got the 1, 2, 3, and that's what we were looking for. SavageEdge.com, check them out. It's my company on my car, Savage Edge Graphics, Riley's Bar and Grill, and everybody at Cyber Thunder. Great league, and look forward to many years here.
All right, well, Corey, again, congratulations on a great points day today. As always, until next time, my friends, stay safe and keep it fast.
Thanks a lot, man.
All right, there you go. Final few parting words for the man that walked away in third here tonight behind the wheel of that number 6 machine, Corey Sherman. Going to take the final spot on the podium, and that's going to move us right along the list to his teammate. We're going to pull the man behind the wheel of that number 92 machine. Ed, how you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good, man. Lounge Racing had a great day. The lawn care, Jurgen's Lawn Care Chevy is looking good tonight.
Well, I gotta mention something. I reminisce about things all the time, man. So getting to see another New Jersey native out here in a post race interview, always love to see that, man. I'm not gonna mention where I'm from New Jersey just because it's not important and nobody likes to go there. But anyways, an amazing job, an amazing way to kick off the season. Your teammate mentioned it, heading into Chicago. It's a track that is built on momentum, really. Is there anything you think you can take from Daytona and maybe apply it to next week?
Yeah, not much. Probably just working with our teammates like we did tonight. Unfortunately, Gary was right there too, Gary Bowman, and he got too close to Jared's bumper and blew up.
Yeah, we've seen a handful of drivers doing some swapping of positions throughout tonight's race, trying to keep that engine temperature down. Was there ever an oh no moment for you behind the wheel here tonight? Seemed to be a pretty clean race for you and that 92 team.
Yeah, no issues at all. We had good pit stops all night, and yeah, just working together with the teammates. It worked out perfect. We knew the guys that were leading for a little bit, we would eventually get him because we had to pit one more time. So we just took our time.
Well, Ed, an amazing run to kick things off here this season. We hope it gives you some momentum moving forward. I know it's not super speedway racing, but it is another 2-mile track that we're heading to. We've got a lot of great racing action ahead of us, so we hope you keep the steam heading in the right direction, and we get to talk to you again. But before we let you go here tonight, would you like to give any final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Yeah. Thank you for putting on this broadcast, and Cyber Thunder for putting on a great league here. Jurgen's Lawn Care Chevy was looking good tonight. So coming off of Daytona 500 win, so looking good.
Well, you did your team proud. You did your home state proud, and you made me proud. You're another New Jersey native. I love it. Love to see it, my man. But until next time, as always, stay safe and keep it fast.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, there you go. Final few words for the man that walks away second, right in front of his teammate But behind yet another teammate, we're going to dive right into victory lane. Now, let's see if we can have a few words with your race winner behind the wheel of that fast number 30. Jared, it's Dave. How you feeling, bud?
I gotta say, I'm feeling pretty darn good, Dave.
So, you come from North Dakota all the way down to beautiful sunny Florida. How do you put it on them? How did you know to play that fuel strategy the way that you and your teammates did?
Man, I just really gotta thank my teammates. I'm a horrible math person, so they really helped me do some number punching during the race. Uh, then they helped me the whole race. I gotta thank Ed, Gary, Corey. Just feel bad for Gary pushing me, but it's how it works sometimes. Sorry, Gary.
Yeah, sometimes your best friends can be your worst enemies after you walk away with a checkered flag. Maybe not so much the case between you and your teammates. We'll see how things unfold throughout the season, whether you get underneath each other's skin, trying to create some controversy. We'll see if that works out for us. I've talked to your teammates about moving on to Chicagoland next week. They don't feel there's a lot that can transfer over. I know it's not super speedway racing, but it is another big track. Do you think you can take the momentum from winning this season opener here at Daytona? Do you think you can ride the wave into Chicago and come out with yet another podium or yet another race win?
Man, I sure hope so. Chicago's not particularly my favorite track, but I've been practicing there a little bit off and on, and I feel like I've gained a little momentum getting in there.
Well, man, you definitely have some luck on your side. I say luck because it is a super speedway. A lot can go wrong at any given time. You were able to navigate the early trouble, keep yourself out front, keep yourself in position at the end to take back control of the race lead, and you rode it on out from there. So congratulations on walking away with the season's first checkered flag. Before we let you spray the champagne in victory lane, would you like to give any final shout-outs, thank yous, love yous?
Yeah, again, I got to thank my teammates. I got to thank Turn 3 Racing Network and you for putting this on for us. Cyber Thunder, great league. I got to say I love you to my girlfriend and my daughter. Hi to any friends watching. All Construction and Dakota Landworks. Check them out.
Well, Jared, a fine run here tonight. Again, congratulations on walking away with the season's first checkered flag. We wait to see you back in victory lane throughout the course of the rest of the season. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it all unfolds. But until then, my friend, stay safe, enjoy this win, and keep it fast.
You too. Thank you.
All right, there you go. Final few parting words for the man that walked away with the checkered flag here tonight. First place, bragging rights in the shop over two of his teammates behind him. Job well done. You can't ask for a better start of the season for yourself or your team. Definitely putting the rest of the field on notice that we are here to work together, that we are here to try to be the class of the field, and they were absolutely that here tonight as Jarrett Camilli walks away with the checkered flag here tonight from Daytona International Super Speedway. What a run, what a night, what a finish. The long green flag run took us to the end of tonight's race. An amazing job by all of the drivers throughout this field. And you hear the producers hitting those buttons in the background. You know the sounds. You know it's time for us to run down tonight's unofficial race results in the Daytona 254. The Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, walking away with the first win of the season, checkered flag in hand. Behind the wheel of that number 30 is Jared Camilli. Eric Jurgen going to finish in second, with Corey Sherman coming in third, rounding out your podium drivers. Cody Richardson, your pole sitter, going to bring the 64 machine home in fourth. Jerry Isaacs, a great run into the Fox sponsored number 51. He'll finish out your top five. Andrew Koska gonna slide home in 6th with Kyle Nadu back in 7th. Christian Delgado comes home in 8th. Coolridge Finmore gonna slide home in 9th with Dan Keene finishing out your top 10. 77 of Dave Sanders back in 11th. Mike Stiverson 12th. 13th tonight to Chris Dorsey with Brian right behind him. The Dorsey duo 13th and 14th here tonight. Dave Gainforth going to slide back to 15th. Alan Ayers in 16th. 17th belongs to Jacob Bowman with Judd Danielson in 18th. 19th tonight from Daytona International Super Speedway is Chris Letts with Ray Richer. Paul Turner, Stephen Music, William Kern, Gary Bowman, Nathan Dumpton, and Matthew Hall finish out the 26-car field here tonight. That's going to do it for us. We're going to cut off the lights and roll up the cords. Head off into next week. So with that being said, stay safe, stay loved, my friends, and until next time, we'll meet you in turn 3.